Hello YouTube, 잘 지내요? Just a couple of topics I wanted to talk to you all about today. There's a lot of cool stuff going on, some stuff that has been going on, and stuff that is changing that I think will be particularly interesting. That will be particularly interesting for a lot of you coming to Korea or who are already in Korea. First one, it's a bit of a light one, has to do with Seoul Forest Park. So starting this weekend on Saturday, and specifically only Saturday, every Saturday till August, they are doing a outdoor movie theater show from about 7 p.m. till 8 p.m. or whenever the movie is done, which is really cool. It's a nice kind of fun way to enjoy time, either alone, with family, friends, out in the park, watching a movie on the semi-big screen that is outdoor. Now, some of you might not like that because it might be a little hot, but hopefully around 7 p.m. it's not too hot. But anyways, the point is that you get to kind of just be outside and watch a movie. It's a nice little thing. Now, I know a lot of places do this, a lot of cities do this. I just figured I wanted to give a shout out and recommend to people who might be looking for something a little bit different to do on Saturdays instead of going to the clubs. The movies that I'm going to be showing are mostly family movies like Inside Out, Zootopia, that kind of stuff, because, you know, it's a public outdoor setting. But I think it's still really cool. It's a really, really cool concept that they're going to do specifically at the new renovated Seoul Forest Park. So look out for that if you're looking for something to do on Saturday evenings. The second thing, this is a bit more important. This has been going on since June 19th, the end of June, and it will continue on for till the end of August, late August. Is basically all the Seoul Hangang pools are open. Now, whether you knew about this or not, I wanted to give a little bit more detailed information. There are 6 total pools / water parks that you can visit for general price of 1 to 5,000 won, depending on where you go, what age group you are, etc. So the 6 pools that exist are the Yanghwa, Nanji, Yoido, Tuksam, Jamsil, and Gwangnaru Hangang Water Park playground / pool. Those are the ones that exist. I'll kind of put a list of them down in the video so that way you can see them in order. But basically, Yanghwa is near Sonuro Station, which is line 9. Nanji is next to World Cup Stadium, a little far away from line 6, but that's basically where you would go, World Cup Stadium. Yoido, it's actually not next to Yoinaru Station. It's a little bit of away from Yoinaru Station, so don't expect to go to Yoinaru Station and bam, it's right there. It's kind of to the left, basically, if you're facing the river. Tuksam actually is the only one that's right next to the station. That's the only one that's a bit easy to access compared to the other 5. I don't know why they're so hard to access. Jamsil, same thing. It's a bit far away from the station, but that's where you would go, Jamsil Station. And Gwangnaru, the closest station is Amsa Station on line 8. I think that one and World Cup Stadium, depending where you are probably the furthest ones to get to. So in some cases it might work out and there might be less people going to those particular water playgrounds / pools. Now there is a difference. Only 2 of them are actual pools, which I believe are the Yoido one and Tuksam one. Those are the only ones that are actual pools that you can swim, laps and kind of play around in. And more specifically, the Tuksam one has a lazy river, which is pretty cool. So the prices for those are basically around 3 to 5,000 won. 3,000 won for kids underneath 12 years old, and 4,000 won for above 4,000, and 4,000 won for those above 12 years old till 18, and then anyone after 18 is 5,000 won. Now the water playgrounds, which are the other 4, which as I mentioned before are Yanghwa, Nanji, Jamsil, and Gwangnaru. Those ones are what they call the water playground. So they're not as big as the pools are. There's still a lot of room for swimming and stuff like that, but it's not as big as the pools are. So the prices for them are only between 1,000 to 3,000 won. So 1,000, again, same thing. It's the same age system. If you're under 12, 1,000, above 12, 2,000, and above 18, 3,000. So pick and choose which pool you want to go to, which one is the closest to you, which one is most convenient, price range, all of that. Now, you do have to pretty much bring everything. They don't really give you anything, even for the shower stuff. If you want to take a nice shower with soap and all that, you have to bring that. That is expected and put on you to bring. You must bring a swimming cap. Now, this is something that I think a lot of foreigners don't think about. In Korea, any pool you go to, no matter what, you must wear a swimming cap. They will not let you swim without the swimming cap. Now, they did specifically say for these pools, the public pools, baseball cap is actually okay. So, you know, if someone that likes to wear a baseball cap, then that's actually totally fine. Otherwise, put on the swimming cap, you will not be allowed to swim. Now, this is kind of standard, but you're not allowed to drink or bring alcohol or anything like that. These public pools, they are public spaces, there are kids around, so you are not allowed to bring any alcohol, and they will not let you in if you do have alcohol. You can bring food though, you just cannot deliver any food or bring out like delivery food. So if you have like snacks like that you made at home, gimbap, chips, things like that, those are allowed at the pool, the premises, you are allowed to bring those. Otherwise, things that might take up a lot of space like fins, big inflatable beds and things like that, you aren't allowed to bring because it can be a huge inconvenience to others. Now, floaties and those kinds of things will be allowed for kids that need to swim. And specifically, Tuksum that has the lazy river, you cannot swim in the lazy river without an actual inflatable device. They won't let you go in there, so keep that in mind. And floaties are not actually allowed for that either. You need an actual like tube to go in. Kids obviously need to be accompanied all the time. They cannot go in by themselves. Now, they do recommend to bring mats and water and all those things with you. They highly recommend that. You're also allowed to bring shaded tents. The only stipulation to this is that Tuksum only allows pop-up shaded tents, which I guess ones that are easily set up. But all the other pools, like if you have a very big, huge shade tent that like requires you to like actually build it or take time, those are allowed at those places. But Tuksum only allows like a pop-up quick shaded tents. They do provide parasols for every 4 people. So if you're going for if you have more than 4 people in your group, you will have to sit in a different like area. But that's going to be more of a first come, first serve kind of basis. If there's not enough parasols for people to go around, then you might not get one. So do keep that in mind. It is hot, there is no shade. You might want to bring something to block the sun, basically. They are open from 9 a.m. till 10 p.m., which is a very long time. Now, the reason for this is that only some of the pools will be open till the later time. For example, Yanghwa and Gwangnaru will not be open till 10 p.m. They're only open till 6 p.m. And the reason for this is because they want to just have some of the pools open till a later time, and they want to allow for some evening swim time, which I think is a really cool concept. You're swimming next to Hangang in the evening. Could be a really cool plan, could be a really cool date, etc. They do have break times. So from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. is the lunch break time. From 5:30 till 7 p.m. is the evening break time. No swimming is allowed during that time, and I don't think they'll let anyone in at that time. So do keep that in mind. Either go before, enjoy your time, or if you're there till 2 p.m., for example, you will have to probably leave and come back. I do not know if you are already inside and you paid to be inside. I think they probably just stop you from swimming during that time. Otherwise, they might kick you out. That part I'm a little unsure of, and they weren't really detailed in that. But I assume they just don't let you swim, and then you can still be there, but yeah, you just can't swim during that time. And that's pretty much everything about the Hangang pools that you need to know. Like as I said, they'll be open till August. They're open pretty much every day. So they didn't specifically say whether they're open or not on holidays. All they said is that there's no closing days during the operating period. So I assume even holidays, they are open. I assume that's what that means. So whether it's a red day or not, should be allowed to go to the pool. So if you're looking for a cool way to beat the heat, enjoy the public pools that are not too expensive at Hangang. Now, the last bit of information, this one is a little bit confusing and one that I had to kind of dig deeply into. Now, a long time ago, or not so long ago, I mentioned the climate card. The climate card, as I mentioned, is a great pass for those people who are traveling a lot within Seoul. It costs 62,000 won for the card or 55,000 won through the application. Wonderful card, freely use the public transportation. Now, the Seoul government is actually kind of nixing the card in some way. They are basically changing it to Climate Card Plus, which is now becoming a merger with the K-Pass card. Now, why does this matter? Why is this good? What are the benefits? Well, one thing to know, for anyone in Seoul, living in Seoul, by September, the climate card is going to be finito. They're actually going to get rid of that and change it with the Climate Card Plus. So regardless of whether you like it or not, you will have to change to the Climate Card Plus. Now, what does it mean as a consumer? Well, the normal standard payment is that you pay 62,000 won upfront or 55,000 won on the application, and then you just use it. That plan will still exist. They will still allow users to just simply pay an amount, but they are extending the benefit of the K-Pass, which has a rebate system. Now, there are many people who might have paid 62,000 won, but didn't use the 62,000 won as transportation. What does that mean? For example, you paid 62,000 won, but you only paid about 50,000 won in transportation, actual transportation for the month. Now, with the K-Pass, for the basic rebate, you would get 20% cash back or cash refunded to your bank account. And that is based off of what you spent. So, for example, if you spent 50,000 won and you get a 20% rebate off that, you would get 10,000 won back, basically. That's the rebate they'd give you. So you spent only 40,000 won for your climate card, not 62,000 won. So that's kind of what the K-Pass is trying to include. They're trying to match the expenditure habits and the habits of transportation of consumers in general by figuring out how much they're actually using in their transportation. So instead of charging somebody 62,000 won, they would charge that person 40,000 won at the end of the month, not even 50,000 won. So they're basically giving you a rebate on the money that you spent, which is less than 62,000. It's a really, really, really strong benefit. Now, this is where I got lost in the translation of this article and what they're trying to say. I got super confused with all this. I originally thought the 20% was from the 62, so no, it is based off of what you spent for the month. But this is a smart system that detects how much you're actually spending and how much you're actually traveling. For example, if you travel more than 62,000 won, you won't pay more than 62,000 won. They won't actually overcharge you. Let's say you traveled 80,000 won. Again, if you're following that 20% rebate, the system will detect which one is better. If you paid 80,000 won in transportation, they'll first check, is the 20% rebate cheaper? Well, 20% would be 16,000 won. That would mean then you pay 64,000 won. But 64,000 won is more than 62. So instead of charging you the 64, they'd charge you the 62 for the month. Do you kind of get what I'm saying? So the new Climate Card Plus system is trying to figure out which would be the better option for you as a consumer. Now, they also are rolling out a new option that's 100,000 won. This is a straight up payment like the 62,000 won. And this extends to people who travel in and out of Seoul. If you're someone who lives in Seoul but travels to Gyeonggi-do, for example, for work, like a little kind of towards Gwacheon, then the 100,000 won might be beneficial to you because you might pay a lot in fees for AREX or KTX or whatever. So that 100,000 won would be a huge benefit for you. Now, here's the stipulations to all of this. This card is only valid for Seoul residents. So for anyone who lives in Seoul, resident of Seoul, you are the only ones allowed to have this card. Anyone living outside of Seoul, Busan, Daegu, all of that cannot use this card or apply for this card, unfortunately. That's kind of the downside to this, but again, this is the Seoul Climate Card, the Seoul Climate Card Plus, so it does kind of make sense in a way that it is only for Seoul residents. Furthermore, for tourists, which I think are the majority of people who do use this, and specifically for that 3, 5, 7 day pass, that pass will still exist. So if you're a tourist coming into Korea, the Climate Card 3-day pass, 5-day pass, whatever, is still the better option, and it will still exist even after September. They are not getting rid of that because the government does realize that that pass is very valid and a lot of tourists do use it. So for anyone who's traveling, I still recommend that Climate Card short-term pass if you're only here for less than a week. It is very, very, very good. Other than that, if you are going to be here longer, unfortunately, you cannot get the Climate Card Plus for tourists. If you're going to be here for a month, there will be other passes that you'll be able to buy, but this specific pass you will not be able to buy because you will not be a resident of Korea. So a lot of that is being changed now, and it will kind of cipher out throughout the months. There are other things attached to this card depending on your situation. So for example, if you're somebody who's a parent with 3 kids, they will give you a higher rebate up to like 50%. So there are some benefits to people for certain situations and age groups, but 20% is the minimum basically. And it is a huge, huge deal. I think it's a really good system for those of us who do live in Seoul. Now, I know this is specifically for people who live in Seoul, but still, I wanted to mention it regardless, because for those of you who have been using the climate card, I wanted to kind of give that information out that it's not going to exist anymore. It's going to be under a new system. So with that being said, that's all the information I got for you, YouTube. I hope you found that informational and helpful. And again, if you have any questions about Seoul Climate Card Plus, the swimming pools, etc., please don't hesitate to leave a comment down below. Otherwise, I'll see you next time for another awesome video.